same one, same teak. I'm going to give you a second, and I want you to try to figure out your answer, and then unpause the video and see if you and I come to the same answer. Okay, welcome back. Two basketball players plotted the number of baskets they made each game during a basketball season. Based on the graph data, which of the following is true? So again, we want the right answer this time. F. F says Tony makes more baskets per season based on the maximum number of 16. So they went to Tony and they said, oh, he makes more baskets because this number is higher than any of Timmy's. Not true. We have no idea how many baskets were actually made, okay? Oh, we do know how many baskets were made, but we have no idea how many games they played, okay? Because we can't count the number of games on there. So we can't say that he makes more baskets just because this number, just because this line sticks out further. Timmy makes fewer baskets per season because the box plot is smaller, which a lot of you are like, well, probably chose this one and thought that's right because, I mean, his line is pretty tiny. Okay, well, his line is pretty tiny because it shows his range, and he doesn't have a big range. This means that Timmy is pretty accurate with his shooting. He makes, you can almost guarantee how many he's going to make per game because his range isn't as big. So this is not true. We can't say he makes fewer baskets just because his plot is smaller. This says Timmy is more consistent because his interquartile range of 4 to 8. So Timmy's interquartile range of 4 and a range of 8. Okay, so let's find Timmy's interquartile range. His range is from 6 to 14. How big of a range is that? Well, 6 to 14 has a range of 8. Now, oh, no. Big mistake, because what did I say interquartile range meant? I said interquartile range meant the range of the box. So it starts at 8 and ends at 12. So Timmy's range is 4. Timmy's interquartile range is 4, whereas Tony's starts at 4, ends at 12. Tony's interquartile range is actually 8. So does this mean that Timmy is more consistent? Absolutely, because his range is smaller. The bigger the range, the less consistent you are with your shots. This says Tony is more consistent because it has an interquartile range of 8 and a range of 14. So here's how they got this answer. His interquartile is a range of 8, but if you choose the range of the whole thing, you start from 2, you end at 16. What's 16 minus 2? 14. Because his range and his interquartile range is so much larger than Timmy's, he is way less consistent. You don't want him on your team because you can't guarantee he's going to make the shots. If you had to put up a free throw shooter, you're going to want to put Timmy up, not Tony, because Timmy's more consistent. So H is the answer. This is moving. It's the same concept, still 7.12a, but this one is talking with dot plots. And I want to talk a minute about dot plots. Okay? Each dot represents a person or a car or a thing that it is talking about. And this is talking about numbers of hours studying for Spanish 1. So each dot represents a person, and that's how much each person spends studying for Spanish 1. So 2 people, because I have 2 dots, 2 people spend a half an hour. Whereas if you look over here, there's 4 dots. That means 4 people spend 2 hours studying for Spanish 1. Okay? One thing you can do to help you find medians and such on this is you can write out these numbers. So since I have 2 that are half an hour, I could say 0.5, 0.5. I have 3 that are at 1, so 1, 1, 1. I have 4 that are at 1.5, so 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. I have 4 that are at 2, so 2, 2, 2, 2. I have 2 that are at 2.5, so 2.5, 2.5. Sorry, I'm going into this one. And I have 1 that's 3. So I just pulled all of these numbers out of this dot plot, okay? This will help you keep up with where your median is, where help to find your range. Some of you can do it based on this. Some of you need to pull it out and make it look like this. Okay, so we're not going to answer these two because these two aren't over what we are doing. These are. It says the median number, or the median for the number of hours spent studying Spanish 1 is, so if you're going to find, okay, so if you're wanting to find the median, if you wrote them out like that, remember when we did the box and dot plot, I said do front, back number, front number, back number, front number, back number, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. You're left with a median of 1.5. If you're using your dot plot, all you have to do is say cross out the front one, cross out the back, front, back. It doesn't matter, okay? Front, back, front. Now see this finished, I gotta start over here. Back, front, back. Now I gotta start here. Front, back, front, back. Oh, I must have messed up here. But I'm left, I figured out where I messed up. I didn't put 4 1.5s. So there still should have been another 1.5 here, which would have put us with 2 in the middle, okay? But what is the median of 1.5? Still 1.5. It's asking me to find the median of the hours spent for science. So I would cross 1 in the front, 1 in the back. Front, back, front, back. Keep doing this. I got 2 left. Both are 2s. What's the median of 2? 2. Based on the median, students spend more time studying what over what? Well, science has a median of 2. Spanish 1 has a median of 1.5. So they spend more time studying for science than they do Spanish 1. Okay? 4. Which of the following statements are false? A lot of y'all will read right past that instead of reading that it is false, not true, are based on the dot plots. Choose all that apply. So on this one, there could be more than one answer. The range for both plots is the same. Okay, well, how do you find your range? It's your smallest to your biggest. So my smallest number is 0.5. My biggest number with a dot. Don't choose 3.5. It doesn't have a dot. My biggest number with a dot is 3. So to find your range, you would say 3.0 minus 0.5. That has a range of 2.5. What's the range of this one? It has a range of 0.5 with another of 3. So these are going to have the exact same range. So A, true. Says B, more than 75% of the students spend more than 1.5 hours studying for each class. Okay, so let's look at this one. Spend more than. That means we cannot include 1.5 hours. They have to spend more than. So we are looking at these numbers. And then we are looking at these numbers also. Okay, so how many dots do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What's half of 16? 8. So what's 75% of 16? And some of you are like, I don't remember how to do that. 75% of 16. Remember, we turn this into a decimal times 16. So 16 times 0.75, that's 8, 0, 42, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I'm going fast because you should know how to do this. 2 behind. So I am looking at 12 dots over for Spanish, 12 dots over 1.5 hours. So here we go. This is over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that even half? No. So I don't even have to look at this side. This side tells me that this is not 75%. That's not an option. The data is symmetrical. Remember when we talked about one with the box plot, I said like a T, when you fold that T, it's perfect on both sides. If I fold this straight down the middle, if I fold this right here, is it going to be the same number on one side as the other? Are both of these going to be that way? This one would hold pretty fair at being symmetrical. If you look at this one and we split it right here, it has a whole lot more dots on the right side than it will on the left side. So no, these cannot be symmetrical. There is no difference in the maximum number of hours studied for Spanish 1 and science. Okay, what's the maximum number of hours studied for Spanish? 3. What's the maximum number of hours studied for science? 3. Is there a difference? No. So we would say that both of those are correct. Okay, it says Ms. Tolan had a book reading contest for students in her 5th period class. After 3 weeks, she recorded the number of books read by her students. The data is summarized in the dot plots below. Use this information to answer questions 1 through 4. However, we are only going to answer these 2 questions because these are the 2 that pertain to our lesson. Okay, these 2 do not. So, like I said before, each one of these dots represents a female. Each one of these dots represents a male. How many females were surveyed? The best way to know how many females are surveyed is to count the number of dots. So there's 1 female who chose 1 book, 1 female who chose 2. That's 2 females. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That means that there are 14 females that were surveyed. Let's check and see how many males were surveyed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 males were surveyed. Okay, I'm going to pull the numbers and put them across so you can see the numbers as the dots and you can see the numbers in the number line. So I have 1 number 1, 1 number 2, 3 threes because I have 3 dots. So 1, 2, 3 threes, 4 number 4s. That means 4 females read 4 books. I have 3 number 5s. So 3 females read 5 books. I have 1 female who read 6 and 1 female who read 7. I'm going to do the same for the males. 1 male read 1 book. 1 male read 2 books. 2 males read 3 books. 4 males read 4 books. 3 males read 5. 2 read 6. And 1 male read 7. Okay? Based on the data gathered so far, which group is ahead? Which group has read more?